Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of AFL Garage. Today we're gonna take on the transmission, and we already have the transmission in it right now, and it's the M90 for the straight 6 and also for the T5. But I think it's time to upgrade actually. And here we have it. This is a 6-speed diesel manual gearbox from a BMW, and as you maybe notice, it's already prepared to go into the car. And why is that? You can do this by yourself if you want. You only have to take this from M90 and weld it on. But we have a company here in Sweden that's called MKM, I think, and they do this conversion for you. So you can buy this kit at their website, and they also have brackets and mounts for your transmission and also everything else you see here. So a big shout out to MKM. I'm not sponsored, but I bought probably all this stuff from there. So yeah, it's a great company, and I will give a link to everything I have here down below. And when I say you can buy this kit online, I mean you can buy the whole transmission already welded and ready to go. So here we have the mounts that goes under the transmission, and the rubber bearings that keeps away the vibrations from the engine and also the transmission, of course. And then we have a new clutch that fits the splines on the transmission. We also have a new shifter that goes with the transmission, and a new slave cylinder. That's a BMW slave cylinder that goes on the transmission as well. We also have a new hose for the slave cylinder. We have to have a new one because this is a BMW one, and the old one will not work with this setup, so we have to change this as well. But before we put this in, we have to take out the old transmission, so we start with that. And the transmission is pretty easy to take out. It's see here, we have a couple of bolts down here, and also around the engine from this side and also this side. And the upper side is kind of hard to reach, but you have, I think, maybe 15 or 20 bolts, and this one should be out. If we have a look on the new transmission, you can see that we have 13 bolts, and this transmission is exactly the same on the front side as my old one. So I should have 13 bolts on the one that's in the car right now as well. But be careful with these three, because these three holds the starter to the transmission, and you should disconnect the battery before you start with these 3 bolts. So if you want to avoid a disaster, do that, and yeah, you should be fine. But before we take out the transmission, we have to take out the drive shaft and also the old shifter that's in the car right now. So we will start with that.
Yeah, I'm good like that. Who you rooting for? They say whatever team that'll win. I say cool, cause it's gonna be whichever one I'm in. Yeah, I'm good like that. Yeah, I'm good like that. Telling you that I might never go to sleep, stay up all night, doing just what I like. No more hoping, no, I'm right like this. I don't lie like this, I'm on fire like this. This, yeah. Him and her and them over there, they looking over here, they giving me a stare like I care. Like I care. No, who you?
And now it's down. I will probably not use this anymore, because this only goes with the M90 gearbox. I would probably get another drive shaft from a 740 because I don't have my old one left. So yeah, let's take care of the transmission.
Gold ring.
Here we have them. BMW on the left side and the M90 on the right side. As you can see here, they are both lined up, and the BMW transmission is a bit longer than the M90. So before we even try to put this in the car, we have to measure out, we have to take some measurements on the transmission here and make sure everything fits. And we can first measure out this tap here, and this tap should go into the bearing we have on the engine. And I can put a link in the description where you can find the type of bearing I'm using. So we can start with that. Yeah, I think you can see the bearing inside there, and if my measurement is correct, it should work fine. I noticed that this little slider thingy, I don't know what it's called in English, but this was a little bit too long, so I have to shorten it a bit. Otherwise my my clutch would engage with this. It was, I think I took off like 2 millimeters or something, and now it works fine. I didn't show you this earlier, but I went and bought a clutch arm or something. It's supposed to replace this, and this one is over here. And instead of using the original that it takes up too much space on this configuration, I am using MKM, oh shit, I can't say that. MKM's homemade one. So as you can see, it's a lot thinner, but can handle more. And they also sent this adjustable arm for it, so this will work fine. The only thing you have to do with this clutch bearing is to take away some material of this release bearing, so we have enough space towards the engine. And I suppose to have about 8 centimeters, 8.1 I think, and now I have 8.2, and you have to measure to these sides. If we measure this now, we're supposed to have at least 8.1 millimeters, and we have that on both sides, so this should be no problem at all actually. So let's put it in the car. Okay, so the transmission's in place. I only bolted it with 2 bolts now, one on each side. And now I will go with the gearbox mount and see if everything fits. Like I said before, I will go with this MKM transmission mount, and it should work bolt on, but we will see about that. It's only temporary. Everything is temporarily screwed on, and we will lower the jack, and then we will remove the shifter.
You must think that I'm a useless case because I ran away.
And now we can reach these 4 screws here. We have 2 in the bottom and we have 2 in the front. See, 1 there and also 1 here. And all these wires. So go ahead and take them out.
I'm the one you like, that I'm the one you like. So where do we go? Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Where do we go? I don't know. Where do we go? Where do we go?
Here we have the shifter kit from MKM, and it's as simple as reading the manual and putting it together. So this should go here, and we use these screws to screw it on, and also we have the shifter here and it will go on here as well. So let's start with that.
Baby, I've been busy missing you. Say, have you missed me too? Say, have you missed me too? Was this intermission good for you? Yeah, was it good for you? Or are you just confused? Don't think I'm leaving, cause I'm not at all. So if you get hurt, it's unintentional.
We have an extra of these. It's supposed to go on this side here, but only if this gets untight. If you have movement this way, you could shim this up with this ring. But we don't need this now because it's still tight, but for the future we will probably need this. This bolt right here is loose right now, and it's this one. That's supposed to go here, in this hole here. But before you put it in, you should grease this up.
A sign from you, telling me you need me here just like I do. All I ever wanted was to make it through. Tell me, how about you? How about you?